Welcome to Members Only, a show featuring CMAC members and the projects they produce. My name is Johnny Pacina, and I'll be your host for today. In this edition of Members Only, we'll be talking to Faith Iseghohi, the producer of Word Miracle Today, and Auguste Kouadio, the producer of Akwaaba TV show. First up is Faith Iseghohi, the producer of Word Miracle Today.
Welcome to Word Miracle Today, a program born out of extraordinary passion, dedicated to spreading the gospel all around the world through TV, social media, and all media formats. My name is Francina Castro, and I'll be your host for today. In this program, WMT, I'll be talking to Prophetess Iva Tanner, the founder and CEO of Beautiful Blessing International Ministries, BBIM. She will be sharing her story on how God healed her of stomach cancer, her strong faith in the Lord, and about BBIM. Iva, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
It's a blessing and an honor and privilege to have you here. I'm so excited to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why don't you give us just a little detailed, brief synopsis of your...
Welcome back. Faith, thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
God
of course.
bless you.
Thank you. You as well. And we were just talking about a moment ago. I was really impressed because CMAC has really come full circle for you, right?
Right.
I was saying about a month ago you were on this show, but not as talent. You were on the other side in the class, right?
Yeah.
But you told me it was in February you did that, right?
Yeah, it was February.
So that's amazing because from February to now, you've already have 2 episodes of your show.
Yeah.
Talk about your experience in creating the show.
Yeah, I just want to thank CMAC once again. It wasn't easy for me. It was kind of difficult, but one thing I keep telling myself is focus and determination. So it's something I'm really passionate about, something I want to do for the gospel. You know, I see a lot of people out there, they are hopeless. They want to hear the word of God. So being a CMAC member is really a plus to me because I was like doing it myself, you know. I didn't know what to do. You know, I was like, I'm making it, you know, a lot of mistakes. Then I told myself I have to come to the class. I went through the class, it was cool. So everything went well, you know. My first show was like, I didn't really know what I was doing, you know, being my first production. I was making a lot of mess, but at the times I pick up again, you know, so much courage. This is something I want to do. This was something I'm passionate about. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. Then I got it done, so I'm so excited.
That's
so
great.
My second show was actually 3 weeks ago. So that was really cool because everything was set. I did my pre-production, you know, I was ready to roll.
There you go, yeah.
So when I got to the re-production, we just roll because I already had my pre-production. So I'm so excited. I'm getting it right now.
Yeah, it's just about perseverance, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and when you first took the class and for this studio production, did you think at the time that this was something you were able to do? Did you feel that way, or did it feel? It was probably a little overwhelming, right?
Yeah, everything was like, I don't know what they're talking about, you know? I must be frank, because during the class, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do it, you know? I was already nervous, but I told myself, you know, fear is an enemy of knowledge. I have to do this stuff, I have to do this stuff. Then I had so much courage, and I focused on it, then I got it right.
That's fantastic, and that's... Typically at CMAC, we hear those kind of stories too, because I'll admit, when I first got into camera production too, especially studio production, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. It's really stressful, it's really overwhelming. But would you say, like, after your first 2 episodes now with CMAC, you've known so much more than you did before, right?
Yeah, very well. I can see that I'm already top there because the fear is all gone. I'm no longer afraid, you know. I'm so bold now. I want to do more, you know. I keep looking out for guests. I want to do more because now I know what I'm doing.
Right, exactly. Now you actually know,
I'm so excited because now I know what I'm doing. I want to do more episodes.
And I'm sure you get more comfortable each time you do the episode, right? I mean, you're only on your second one, but after the second one, at least you know way more than you knew from your first time around, right?
My second production was like just 3 of us in the studio, in the technical room, myself and my 2 crew. We just rolled.
You just went with it, right?
Yeah. You know, we lock up the camera here in the studio. My guests and the host, they just take over the studio. So I send my crew to the technical room, so we have fun.
And I'm sure you had a sense of freedom, right? Because no one's really holding you to, no, you can't do this show, or you can't have this guest, or you can't have the time to do the show. we try to make it as open as possible for all members to come in and whatever the subject matter may be. Speaking of, you were talking about getting your talent, and how did you go about getting your talent as well as your host? It was really nice to see our host, who it was also a CMAC member as well, right?
Yeah, it was tough because one thing I remember, the production director here in CMAC, Chris, told me, Faith, what we made the audience to like your show, even the crew, the people that want to volunteer for your show, what we made them to like your show. You know, how to think about the audience, how to think about your crew, you know. I was like, what is he talking about? Right. I want to do something telling me thinking about this crew. I don't want to think about it.
But it's an important, it's a crucial element of the show, right?
So then I have to shoot an email, you know, I sent it to Bestina. She was so helpful. She sent it out looking for volunteer. Amazingly, somebody came in and said, I want to volunteer for you. Myself and my children. I said, gosh.
Wow.
You know, I said, I'm a CMAC member. I said, really? So I want to be part of the show. I like what you're doing. And I said, oh, I was so excited. I said, glory to God, because this is what I pray for. So she wanted to be part of it. You know, she came in. I gave her my script. She was okay with it. And then the kids said, oh, we want to be part of it. Then we wrote.
Yeah,
so everything
well, that's
went
great.
well,
Yeah, some members I hear that come in and they want to make a show. They say, well, where am I going to get the crew? Where am I going to get a talent, even a host or for the show? But it's as easy as that sometimes. We have a volunteer list that's available for all members to pitch out their ideas to everyone out there who wants to be a volunteer that's a member of CMAC. And another thing we've talked about many times before as well is that your talent doesn't have to be CMAC members either. So maybe, are you thinking of maybe exploring using the same host still, or are you going to stick with them for a while, or are you going to give other people opportunities?
No, I'm really working on another script now.
Okay.
So looking out to get a guest and a guest host and a guest to interview. You know, my host is going to be from outside, the host is still going to be from outside, so we're going to want to take our CMAC member for now. So let's see if we can get someone to talk about faith. You know, basically, Word Miracle today is part of it's a social media and TV. So what we do is that we share the word of faith, motivational, inspiration, encouragement, healing, and hope. So I'm looking at to bring in a guest to talk about faith. So both of them can just discuss about why we must have faith in God. Because it's kind of faith-based, you know, about my program, it's faith-based. So we're going to be talking about faith coming by hearing and hearing the word of God. Because a lot of believers, they don't have faith in God anymore. They are struggling because we want to tell them, no, it's not over until God says so. So I'm really working on that now.
So those are the topics you touch on in your show. What, and I'm sure at this point, because I'm even curious too, I haven't really got to talk to you about your background. Where you're from, how did this all get started for you? I'm sure the viewers would be curious about at this point, right? So how did you get started and just, I guess, you know, getting involved in the subject matter of the show, your faith, for example, and how did you end up in Fresno? Or how did you find CMAC?
Okay, let me just take it from here. I've been a pastor for 10 years now.
Okay.
So I'm ordained pastor, apostle of the gospel, to preach the gospel. So recently I got my license by Full Gospel Evangelical Association here in California. So by the grace of God, I'm licensed to preach. So we started doing this stuff on social media, myself and my husband. So we like to put something on Facebook, you know, Instagram, YouTube, people just like them. So back in Africa, we do a lot of TV shows, you know, people want to see our messages, people want to hear from us. We have a lot of fans all over the world, you know. My husband himself, he has been a pastor for 20 years now, so being to 41 nations, taking the gospel of Christ. So when we came into Fresno, we said, we want to do something. We want to send our videos to Africa, India. You know, been to all over. Been to France, been to Germany. So people want our clip. They want to hear from us. Yeah, they want to watch us. So what am I going to do? My husband, we actually went out, we bought a camera, you know, I showed it to him.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice camera too,
So we got a JVC camera. I was like, I want to be the producer, you be the talent, you know?
Exactly. You want to be behind the scenes, right? There you go.
So my husband said, are you sure you can do it? I said, I'm going to do it. He said, okay. We started doing this. But at a glance, I was like, I don't know how to reduce the file size, you know? The video was cool, but it was too big, you know? People is telling me the video is too big, they can't watch it, they can't download it.
Right.
You know, my husband told me, you have to go and look for, you have to go to the school, you don't know how to do this thing, you got to go to the school.
And we provide some training opportunities here as well, not only with the classes like this program is, where the whole crew is the class, but also we we can even take some time out of our day. Staff can sit down and kind of show you, like we sat down with your camera, kind of went over the
You guys have been so
settings.
amazing. Honestly, I must say that you guys have been so amazing. You know, when it comes to question, you don't know what to do. You just say, "Oh, Johnny, you know, I want to do
Well, we
this."
try to help when we can,
They
yeah.
want to help you. They are
Yes.
you okay? Is there anything I can do for you? You know,
Yes.
even the front desk when you call them from home, the CMAC member. You guys are amazing. You guys are doing very well. So back to my story. Then after that, my husband said, "You have to go to this, go to this." So I go into the system. I was looking for school where to take some classes to do it better. So then I saw CMAC. So
Right. Well, hey, we're glad you found us.
Yeah.
Because we were able to give your vision some life. So
Yeah,
your ideas,
exactly.
put that to
Yeah.
life. You have the tools here to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning too that you were mentioning that people from all over the world are going to
Yeah.
potentially watch your show, or they have been, you know.
Yeah, because one
Yeah.
thing about these days, you know, people are crazy about social media.
Social
if you
media,
go to
internet,
Facebook,
yeah.
Facebook is crazy. You know, people want to watch stuff on YouTube, you want to watch stuff for Facebook. So our fans keep asking, what is your product? What is your video? We want to watch you. So amazingly, people are watching us now, sending
Right.
comments. People I don't even know, like a lady coming from Germany, said she's healed. She heard our
Wow.
message on Facebook. You know,
Yes.
we are so excited, you know, because
And-
we are to reach the unreached at all costs. So
Yeah, and it's great too, because we were just talking about before the show too.
Yeah.
We can upload all the videos produced by members here onto our website. So it's another outlet other than YouTube. You know, you could post it on YouTube if you'd like,
Yeah.
but we also have it available on our website. You can search for any of the videos that members produce at CMAC. So we already have episode 1 and episode 2 up on our.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yes, it was. Yeah, we're happy to have it on there. And Faith, it looks like we're just about out of time. So again, thank you for being here today.
Thank
and I'm glad
you.
you're able to tell us a little bit about yourself and your show.
Yeah.
And we'll give our viewers some more information later about how to find your show as well.
Okay.
So thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a quick
you.
break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Auguste Kouadio, the producer of Akwaaba TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Members Only. Joining us now is Auguste Kouadio, the producer of Akwaaba TV. Let's take a look. Welcome back, August. Thank you for being here, sir.
No, thank you for having me.
We really appreciate your time here. And I just want to mention too, with Faith, we have we have both sides of the spectrum here.
Right.
We have a beginner who's talking about their spirit starting, but you're one of the original CMAC members, aren't you?
That's correct.
And we are so happy to have you this whole time. You've made some great quality content, and you've stayed involved with CMAC. You make your productions through CMAC, and you're also studying production as well at school, right?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, CMAC came at that time in my life where I needed to really get immersed in my dream.
I see.
As a media producer. And so it happened that I was just starting my mass media production degree at Fresno State when CMAC
right.
opened.
Yes. Go
So
Bulldogs.
I was one of the few ones who had the opportunity pretty much to use both facilities to build project, and it was fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I always like to see that too, because you're having there's only so much you can do in school.
Right.
You have projects you have to do, you have to study, but when you have a place like CMAC to help out your education too, to help learn what you're learning in school, to reinforce it, to practice, I love seeing that. I'm glad you took advantage of that
Yeah,
too.
definitely. Yeah. And again, the beauty of it is everybody that pretty much work at Fresno State
pretty much
start
connected
working
to here.
here. So
Exactly.
I was pretty much I call it home. You know, in the beginning I had my joke, and when everybody's it's time to go, I said, no, I want a little spot here where I can sleep and edit, because, I mean, CMAC was the place to be, and CMAC is still the place to be.
It's the place to be,
I mean,
exactly.
for somebody like me who's been dreaming about television when I was 8 years old, you know, I was fascinated when I saw my dad bring a little box of, and then I saw people in it, and I was like, how did they get in there?
How is this happening right now? Yeah.
And so that was my goal. I was like 8 years old. I need to know how to put people on TV.
And make productions.
And
right?
make a production.
Yeah.
And that was in Africa. You can imagine how in Africa possibly this opportunity can happen to me. Never. So
yeah.
I gotta travel. I gotta do a lot of traveling, and finally I found my heaven here at CMAC.
That's great.
And everything else kind of fall together as far as my goal and my project, all my dream, you know. So yeah, it feels good to be here.
Well, I'm happy to see that. And well, I'm sure after watching the highlight video that our audience wants to know a little bit about your show and what it entails. It's a cultural heritage show, right?
Yeah. As we know, I'm from Africa, and I'm from the Akan tribe in Africa, and actually the title of my show is Akwaaba, which means welcome in the Akan language.
Okay.
And so by creating Akwaaba TV show was a way of bringing awareness to the cultural diversity of the Central Valley.
And there's a lot here,
And,
right?
and there's a lot here.
There's a lot here.
And I'm like, that's wonderful. How do we bring awareness to the fact that we are a diverse community? You know?
And yeah.
And so,
definitely.
and when we are diverse, how do we know? How do we kind of mingle? You know, and so I came up with that idea to bring it, you know, to create a talk show, a 30-minute talk show that's going to bring guests. We're going to come and share their personal experience, because in this day and age, people are more focused on what's come on TV, and sometimes on TV we can find some mentors.
Right.
We can find some people who can kind of give you some incentive in life, you know.
Right.
So I thought, why don't you invite some people that have shared experience in life, teachers, people who have something to say because they've lived life, to the community, to the children, so they can learn that, I mean, life is not too bad out there. There's hope when you put your head to it. And then the second half of the show was to just showcase the cultural diversity of the Central Valley, you know. And so we start shooting, you know, dance shows like with the belly dance, the belly.
Which I didn't even know existed, by the way. Because of your show, I realized there's actually is it a club, right, out there, or is it an organization?
It's an organization. Wow. It's the San Joaquin Valley Belly Dance Coalition.
Wow.
So it's a big deal. It's a big deal in Central Valley. And I used to work with them because I have a background as a performing artist as well. So when I switched a little bit my gear to you know, media production, I was like, you know what, the first thing to do is to promote that art, that cultural thing, because, I mean, we live in a DNA, but sometimes you must know exactly where you're from.
I think there's a general understanding that most people might say, oh yeah, there's a lot of different types of people in Fresno, but they don't know exactly what that entails.
Exactly.
What types of events are out there, what kind of
Exactly.
performances you can see. And you've had, I mean, we just talked about the belly dancers, but you've had
I had belly dance. I had Hawaiian dance.
Yeah, Hawaiian dancers,
Hawaiian
that's
dance.
right.
We had African dance and drummers. We had
Native American
Native American
dances
dance.
too,
We had
performances?
Hispanic, Mexican music. I mean, we try to bring the beauty that the Central Valley is holding, and we don't see it unless there is Cinco de Mayo or there is
Right.
no. But why don't you? We can bring all these good stuff to our viewers
And it's-
in the living room.
it's happening all the
Since
time,
we have
too.
CMAC.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course. So
Yeah.
my way of just giving back to the community by just showing that cultural diversity is to produce these shows that pretty much help us understand who we are sometimes, because we get lost in the Facebook thing and we don't know who we are.
It's true.
And we got to get back to the reality of who we are before we seek every other things. You know?
And it seems like you're using CMAC to fill in that gap that's missing too, because mainstream TV, sometimes you don't get to see those types of cultural things that are happening out there. You don't get to see the stories that are happening in neighborhoods. You know, we get our general news, which is good. We need to be informed, but at the same time, mainstream TV doesn't have either the time or the ability to go out and really get and talk to these groups of people and get interviews, and it's alternative way of watching television.
I mean, from my point of view, television is supposed to be about culture. Television is supposed to be about education. Entertainment can be 10%.
Right.
But nowadays it's more 90% entertainment, 10% education, and 1% the real deal, okay? So I think
There's some
CMAC
truth to
pretty
that.
much is the structure that provide that missing link. You know, and again, I mean, I'm in a way culturally inclined with my, you know, my identity. And I believe that everybody should just be doing that, because this is how you define yourself.
Right.
You know, in this world where we have terror every step of the way. Once you don't know who you are, you cannot define yourself. You cannot take a position based on who you are.
Right.
You're going to listen to this and just follow what he said, but you don't fit into that picture.
In a way, it kind of unifies us too a little bit,
Exactly.
right? It's not just, that group of people do that, you know, on this particular day, like on a holiday, for
Right,
example.
right.
This is a part of their culture, and it's really fulfilling to be a part of that too, when they're welcoming and they say, hey, come check out our performance next week, and with that too, you can promote those events through your show as well, which you've done many times
Of
as
course.
well. Yeah.
Johnny, before I got to CMAC, I got to America. I traveled the world for 15 years performing.
Wow.
I was on stage for 15 years, and it was great.
Yeah, I'm sure you learned a lot.
I
right?
learned a lot. However, I felt after leaving that side of, something was missing. These artists need to be represented the way they need to be represented. And we talk about mainstream media. No, it's not the way artists are being represented. They're being misrepresented. You know, and that is the creator. It's somebody that has to go deep inside of him to create something to make us happy. There's supposed to be respect in that level.
Definitely.
But unfortunately, it isn't happening anymore. It's about either the money or, see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I come from a background where, you know, culture is really important. So everywhere I've been around the world, every time I play my drum, I just start shaking my body because of what. Everybody's amazed and they like it. I enjoy it. And it helped me really understand other people as they understood me.
Definitely.
You know, so I don't judge people just by seeing them. I just want to be around that. They got to show me what cultural ground they have inside, you know, because you need to have something.
Definitely. August, we're kind of running out of time here, but I wanted to also talk about not only do you delve into cultural aspects of your show, but you also delve into certain types of problems, for example, air pollution.
Yes.
Like in the highlight video there,
Yes.
you put special segments in your show that interview people, talk about maybe how they grew up in the valley with asthma. You talk about the air quality. You talk about other things that also are issues in the valley.
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit.
Well, in fact, that was a class assignment when I was at Fresno State.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
I was supposed to come up with a 3-minute work
Documentary type of mini doc.
for an assignment. I was like, okay, I'm in Fresno. The air is really bad. I got to do something about it.
Yeah.
I went on Facebook, and made a casting call.
Oh, how did it work out? Did it work?
Worked out.
It did?
From friend to friend.
Great.
I got some people who say, hey, I'm volunteering. And so for me, it was a way to bring awareness again to the fact that we have a serious problem here in the valley, to air pollution. And how do we cope and how do we manage that? And so that was my way to contributing to that debate.
And you did a really good job on the video. I won't give away too much because I want the viewers to be able to go watch it themselves. But you had, I think, almost 3 or 4 different perspectives. You had people that had asthma, and you also talked to some experts who work for the Valley Air Control District,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So you get all these, you hit all those points,
Right.
and you're asking the right people, and it adds a lot of valid points to your show.
Right.
And I love that segment of your show because you add that in, plus you have the other portions
Yeah,
of the
I
show.
wanted to just give all the different, all the different facets of what, air pollution is about and what it's entitled, what air pollution brings to us. How do we, how do we make sure that we can control that aspect? And so by talking to, professional, at the Air Valley Coalition, they were able to give us what technically is the problem of the air pollution. And talking to professor at a professor at Fresno State,
yeah.
About environment and geography, it was about to tell us, listen, this is a matter of being aware of our carbon print, ourselves.
And that goes back to your point about really making television and programming for really important matters.
Teach how to behave, not teach how to talk. It's more about how to behave, because if you don't want air to pollute, don't drive your
a big
your big
diesel
4x4 by yourself, sitting in it, driving from here to Walmart.
Right.
Come on.
Exactly.
Can take a walk, grab a bike.
Well, some great quality stuff. We're just about out of time, Auguste. So thank you for sharing your personal touch on how you develop your videos and make your ideas. We really enjoy your time and talking to you here today. So
thank you,
I know we're going to see more of you. So
thank you,
looking
Johnny.
forward.
I appreciate you having me here. And thank you for watching CMAC. It's the place to be where you have great quality show.
Yes. He's speaking the truth. Well, that wraps it up for today's Members Only. If you'd like to see more about the shows we've talked about today, you can look for them on CMAC's channels, Xfinity 93 as well as Uverse 99. If you don't have either of those, we are on the web at cmac.tv, and we have a live stream where you can watch live programming as well. Thanks again to our guests Faith Iseghohi and Auguste Kouadio, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.